All right, so let's get started. Any signals and trading opportunities provided both orally, written, or electronically or disclosed to visitors or subscribers are for educational and demonstration purposes only. We are not licensed financial advisors, so we don't give you financial advice. Anything we present is for educational purposes only. So let's get down to it. Let's take a look and see if we can look and see what's going on with the market this morning. Start with the market internals. Let's take a look at the Vance decline line. We'll start over there. All right, so what do we have going on here? We got 8 sectors up, 3 are down from the open. So that's going to give us the sentiment, which is bullish. You can see today that we've gotten up here to today's high, 1578, and the low is 1927. So the current is 1339. So what does that mean? Whenever we're trading above zero, we're going to be looking for moves to the upside. When we're below zero, we'll look for trades to the downside. I look at anything within a range of plus or minus 1,000. I can actually go either way. It's really not too directional unless I get more sectors to the upside or downside, even though these are small moves. Usually plus or minus 1,000 is going to be a chop. Right now being plus 1387, 1389, that tells me that I'm going to be looking to the long side for the most part, but if I do find some stocks that are extremely weak, we can take relative weakness versus the SPY to the short side. You can see the SPY right here. SPY is green, green, green all the way across. It is a A plus setup right now. And the SPY, Q, and IWM, we can see the Qs are the strongest. They were the weakest yesterday, and IWM is 0.6, Qs 0.8, SPY 0.6, up from the open. The volume, up and down volume here, you can see that it's right under 1 million. It's positive. It's moving up. Also, we can see the QQQs here. The Qs are also an A plus setup. You can see the green bars above the trend, above the VWAP going to the upside. And you can see volume right now starting to fall off. And our VIX from yesterday to today. Yesterday we got a high VIX that was up in these 20s. And then right now we see a VIX that is down around 1763. So the VIX is starting to move down. So kind of leaning towards the bullish side than the bearish side right now. We can talk about some trades that we've already done from this morning. We took something in KRE. Take a look at what's going on right now with the market. All right, so we're back on TradingView. We'll take a look at TradingView and take a look at some trades that we did. We did do something in Tesla earlier. Tesla, we were just looking at a fly, and we did a 425, 430, 435. So that went in the money. Make a small profit on that. We also were looking at taking a trade off the table, and that was in AMD. Take a look at AMD on the daily chart. So AMD right now is moving up, had a small gap, moving up. It's all green. This is a nice trade. See if we have any high volume candles that we can be concerned with on this trade. Let's jump over to my other chart and take a look over here at AMD. And here we go on AMD. You can see we were looking at AMD yesterday and we took a little piece of the pie. Did we get any rejection here? No, we didn't get the rejection there. We get a move, strong move right through that level right there. Do we have any resistance above? Let's take a look at the high volume candles and see what we have on high volume candles. I'm just looking to see if there's any high volume candles above price. And we do have some high volume candles above price. And the high volume candles for AMD would be this 250 level, which is pretty much where price is right now. We had a small position. We took 40% in it. We want to see what's happening here on this high volume candle. Is it going to penetrate through and retest and then break out to new highs? We'll take a look at that and see if that's the case. If that's not the case, we'll look at a re-entry on this, but we want to break above 250. Be nice to be able to get up to about 250, 253, and then get the pullback and hold this area, hold this 250. And even if that 250 area is 252, something above this level, as long as we get a confirmation reversal here, we'll look at building another position to break through 253.34 area and then continue up to 263.50 for a possible breakout. So that's AMD trade. So we'll take the profits that we made on the last trade, and we'll use that to fund the next one. Watching Tesla. Tesla's moving up. It's around 428.12 right now. Strong bull. You can see from the multi-time frame RSI that we're pretty much green all the way up to the 45-minute, and we've got the weekly and the daily that are flip-flopping around. You can see they're trying to change right now into all green for Tesla. We can look at Tesla on a longer term chart. Let's look at the 1 hour chart on Tesla and see what we got going on for the 1 hour. So you can see Tesla pulled back. It's reclaimed to moving averages, the 813 right here. Came down to a daily demand area of 419. Bounced off 419, heading back up to the previous day open. So it's trying to get up to the previous day open. And then we have an open gap above. Previous day high is going to be resistance. And also you have some candles over here which are pretty much in line with the 8 EMA. That could be an issue too. Just want to take a look at Tesla on the daily chart and see what these high volume candles are telling us. Anything whatsoever. We got some support area down here on the high volume candles. Take a look here and see if we can find some support or resistance, and we can if we're looking at the highs and lows of the high volume candle. Let's go ahead and show both. There's the open and close. So we got 428.94. That might be some resistance for Tesla. 428.94, 428.29 right now. So we're going to see if we can break through that level. Also, if you look at the daily range, we're at the 98%. So we're near the daily high right here. We are right at the supply edge using some Fibonacci analysis. So what does this mean? We're above the midpoint. Just cut the range in half. Stay above the midpoint. Midpoint's just above the pre-market high. We break through that area right there. You can see we broke through, consolidated, and moved up higher. The diamonds are going to represent some high volume candles coming in, and you can see these high volume candles right here above this 50 SMA for the volume. The Laguerre, it's pegged out at 100. That's why all the candles are green right here. And then also the 5-minute, 2-minute chart, 5-minute Laguerre, it's green also, 5-minute Laguerre. But the 1, the 2, the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, all of them are good to go. Let's see how we react around the previous day open. Now I'm going to scan for some momentums and see if there's any momentum breakouts that are interesting for me. Kind of want to go with the flow. That would be to the upside. And typically I sort by volume. I don't see anything I'm interested in right now. We did enter a position in KRE. We took that profit in KRE. It was a momentum trade. We can take a look at KRE here, and I'll show you where my entry was on KRE. KRE's IWM. So you could see that I noticed on these high volume candles, one after the other, and we started to consolidate in an area here. And I said I wanted be a buyer here. I just needed to break above these levels, and we broke above on this candle right here. I immediately took it once it broke above this consolidation area right here. I took the next trade. It was in at 59 cents a contract. I did one strike in the money, this week's expiration, and then I just wrote it for 10 cents up. So 10 cents on something that was 59, you know, it's not bad. It's around about 20% on that trade. Now on these momentum type trades, you cannot stay in these trades very long, and the reason for that is that theta decay just tears these trades up. Once it starts to lose momentum and fall lower, then you lose your advantage when you're in these trades. Plus, we were trading one strike in, so if it was to pull back and drop below 69, what happens then is that they lose money so fast that you know, you could be down 50% in just a couple candles. And conversely, if you're buying one strike out of the money, if they move in the money with a good volume candle, what we call a pop with volume, then you could be up 30, 40, 50% on those trades also. So you got to understand there's two sides to the coin. You can be a really good loser on those and take 50% on just a move out of the money, or you can buy one strike out of the money, and when they move in the money, take advantage of it and book your profits. Take a look and see if we have any movers this morning. Crowds moving up. See it's at the high of the day. IONQ down at the low of the day right now. Looks like it's going to try to break through the previous day low. The reason I am not looking too hard on the short side right now is that if we get a bounce, we'll take a look at the indexes here real quick. If we get a bounce in the indexes, which we can see right here, here's the open. You can see the move up, the pullback, green Laguerre. We got volume coming in, and this move up to the previous day high, and we're breaking through it, and we're looking to go higher from there. Of course, we had to watch out for 687 area, a couple dollars higher, if we can get there with these major moving averages in the way. The Qs, the 50, we're right at the 50 right now. Strong Laguerre all the way across the board on the intraday basis. Moving averages 821 above price. In IWM, which was the strongest yesterday, you notice that IWM is above the moving averages. So it's pretty much got blue sky. It can continue moving up. And this would be probably the sector. The Qs are rebounding pretty good because of XLK today, but this would be the index I would look at for continuation today. Energy has been leading. Here's XLE. It's up 2.3%. Right above VWAP, 821 cross. You can see we got a buy on the Laguerre. We got a crossover on our squeeze momentum. Volume's kind of tapered off a little bit, but early morning volume is not indicative of what's going on throughout the day. You can see that we started to get a little pop on volume right here, and this was this pullback, but it's lower volume as we get into later stages of today. And let's see what happens. Is this going to consolidate and be a move up? So we'll go through from top to bottom. XLE. XLK was weak yesterday, right up to the 50, broke through the 50 right now. See if this can continue up, get up to the 8 EMA. If this can continue to rally, these moving averages are based on the daily. We're on the 2-minute chart right now. You can see we're well above VWAP here. VWAP break right here, pulled back, never closed below the 13. We get a little divergence in the Laguerre, a candle moving up with a red Laguerre, turn into blue. Blue gives me a signal that I can go long as long as I have alignment. Whenever I get alignment was whenever we got this test right in this area right here. Whenever I got this test of these two hammer candles, 1, 2, and then a continuation to the upside. If we want to flip the chart, move it over to Heikin-Ashi candles. That smooths the trend out quite a bit. Same XLK, 2-minute chart. You can see right here, we got to move up, pull back, change a Laguerre. Flat bottom candle. Laguerres always start at the middle of the previous candle. And you can see we just consolidated here, and then we get a little bit of volume coming in and a break, and now we're all the way up to the 50. So for my entries, I like to use Heikin-Ashi candles, but I don't use them alone. I use them in combination with volume. Do I have volume coming in? What does the histogram tell me as far as strength goes? Am I losing momentum? Am I picking up momentum? And where are my Laguerres at? And you can see the Laguerres today, the stochastics, which is the upper line here. You can see that it barely dipped below 80, where Laguerre pulled back to the 50, and those are the yellow candles, and then it flipped back up and started to rise. Blue candle is greater than 20 and rising from the previous the previous candle. So it takes data from the previous candle and adds that to it to determine if it's going to have a change in the color of the candle or not. Back on regular candles now. XLB, super strong. Been super strong. XLV, SLV, GLD, the precious metals, they've been super, super strong. We got to gap up and just chop right here. XLY, a little discretionary. It's rallied up today. Previous day high broke through, but all marginal. We'll see if this is going to hold or not. We do have a supply area down here. It broke through, so we're going to see if this is going to end up being daily demand zone and flip the script tomorrow, and this is going to be support where it was resistance. XLI, previous day high, just peeking below it. XLV, healthcare. This is monthly supply area right here. 21 EMA, the 8 EMA right here. So these should also support price. XLF, the financials. See that move up, chop, 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 chop. So most of these are looking like they're moving into chop. XLC looks very nice right here. One pullback to the 13, high volume candle comes in. Once the volume comes back into it, you can see we're pretty much set up to move all the way up into the supply area. Supply areas are usually an area where price will be rejected and you'll find resistance, but also we can get a move where price comes here, test it, pull back with a higher low, and then a breakthrough. So what's important is whenever you do get the pullback that you can form a higher low at one point in time, so you can find yourself at a point where price is going to break through and you've got a tight stop. The moving averages will be right there tight to this area. So if you're wrong and you don't get a breakthrough and your retest pulls back, you get a reversal, and then you just get a move into it and then a flush back down, that you're not going to suffer a great loss. You're going to have a tight stop on that. XLRE looks pretty weak today. Not doing as well as the others. It's at 0.27%. Rolling over right now. A lot of activity around this area. And it doesn't have a great ATR. And XLRE is not one that moves the market one way or the other. Utilities is another one that has a tendency not to move the market very much. Kind of looks like XLRE. And this is one sector that's down, is XLP today. XLP is taking a little heat. And you can see that we moved right up into this supply area, pulled back into a demand area, retest, failed it. Now we're moving lower and trading sideways below VWAP. One of the big movers today, INTC up 10.27%. We had some contracts in INTC. We took those off. Knew when I didn't have much data that I was not on the right ticker. So here you go on the daily breakout right here, INTC. This has been a very strong stock right here. Little pullback below the 813. Another pullback to the 813, but this one really launched us. And you can see we had some confluence here between stochastics moving down and then the Laguerre below the 20, and both moving up together. and we get multiple volume candles on the way up, quite a few volume candles on the way up for INTC. So let me do some scanning and see if I can find some trades that we can get into. Still got some contracts on Tesla right now. Hold on to those. See if there's any option scalps available. My last bit of Teslas have gone in the money. We're holding on to those right now. We get a little bit of pullback, I'll get filled on those. On the option scalps, I'm scalping the volatility more than just price. Let's see what mRNA is looking like on the daily. It should be pretty decent. And it is pretty decent. You see a breakout here. It's starting to get extended away from the 8, the 13. Volume still coming into it. You can see the volume here. Moving up. I don't have anything in its way. Turn on the high volume candles. Let's go back and take a look at the internals. Still at 1394, still moving up. Just looking at MRNA, it's moved a little far for me. I'd love to be able to put a trade on this one. Keep looking to see if I can find something that's hasn't gone too far. Let's take a look at CRDO. Here's CRDO. Super bear right here. It's below the bear channel. If you want to know what a bear channel is, this is a depiction of a bear channel right here. Basically taking the high and the low and calculating where we are in the range. So basically, this is when price is weak and it's pulling down. This is where we see our first area of resistance. You can see VWAP right here. You can see it, price has not been able to get up above it. If price can break through it, once we get into this upper zone right here, then this upper zone actually turns the whole complexion of this trade from a bearish trade into a bullish trade. I'm just looking for relative volume. I'm not looking for direction right now. Not really interested in anything other than trying to get involved in maybe a scalp. And I prefer to scalp to the long with the advanced decline line, 8 and 3 with the sectors. Get a little pullback in the SPY right now. On days like today, it's almost better, to look towards your indexes, for clues on where to get positioned for a trade. Like with the SPY, let me get rid of my edges here and just get a read on what's happening in the market. Remove the volume also. And show some levels here with the moving averages. I mean, this is important. So you got to think about where we are in this in price pattern right now. We're trying to grind above the 50 here, heading up to the 8 and the 21. The 100 is down here. So you got to ask yourself, in this range, where am I? What's my expectations? Get back on a weekly right here. So on a weekly range, we're in the upper part of the weekly range. We'll go to a weekly candle also. And see how this changes your outlook on what's going on with the stocks. If you're looking at longer term swings, you can see right here that we're right above. We're forming a hammer on this gap down. A hammer on a gap down right here. We never tested the 100, but we're sitting right on the 50. What my expectations would be is maybe to move up, a test, higher low, and then a breakout to new highs. Of course, we could also do something conversely to that. We could actually just move up here and then fail this area and actually go down and retest the 100 SMA. I mean, nobody really knows for sure. When I'm looking at the candles, I'll look at a few different things. I'll look at it on a Heikin-Ashi basis. So even though they're green, turn off the Laguerre, you notice that flat top candle, that's a red candle. What does that signify? When you get the flat top candles, these signify, weakness in the market. Flat top candle at a high, you get a pullback on a weekly chart. This tried to form a flat top, it didn't. Price went up. This is a flat top candle. Where could I expect price to go? Right to the 100 on the weekly basis. Jump back on the daily basis. How does it look on a daily basis? On a daily basis, its price is formed in the middle of the candle. This just tells me right now that this is indecision on the market's behalf after yesterday's uh, almost daily tariff news. You know, if that is what moved the market down, I don't know. I don't really care. All I do is look at the chart and try to determine where I could get in. So today, there's a lot of digestion of prices from yesterday. So it's kind of that hurry up and wait situation. Try to turn my mic up a little bit so maybe you can hear me better. If there's any stocks that you're interested in, we'll pull up the chart, take a look at those. Going to flip back to regular candles. Look at the QQQs. Qs bouncing off the 100, failed yesterday, bounced back up. IWM, very strong. Wouldn't be surprised for it to pull back to the 8 EMA. And then maybe have a bounce to a new high. That would be a possibility right there. AMAT was a trade that I took yesterday. And what I was looking at with AMAT was there was an open gap. If you want to be able to see the gap, here's part of the gap right here. So I was looking for price getting into the gap. I really wanted to see if we could get somewhere down to like $309. I had the 325s I had sold. I sold those for $1. My total risk was with the spread $2.50. Credit received $1. That means my total risk was $1.50. So I was okay with the risk. I was up 40% this morning. I did not break the previous day level. So what I was looking at with AMAT, this is on a 2-minute chart. Okay, so what I was looking at with AMAT is when we pulled back previous day close, pre-market low, previous day open, previous day low. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see this price action flush down to the previous day to the pre-market low. I wanted to see if I could get a small bounce, which we did get a small bounce, and then I wanted to see failure quickly down to this level. And you can see what happened. We pulled back, and then we really didn't get to the previous day open or the pre-market low. We immediately came up, and when we broke the pre-market low to the upside, I took my profits. And the reason for that is I didn't want to turn my winner into a loser. And I was holding the 325s. Now, we broke 325 level, that previous day high and pre-market high. We broke that, but I didn't want to risk my $1.50 when I could easily take a 40% profit here and expectations that this bounce might be real, and then I have no other opportunity to be able to profit other than just take a loss on it or have to just hold it through or near expiration, which would be Friday. I didn't want to do that. Wasn't part of the plan. You know, semis weak yesterday. Intel's pretty strong. AMD's very strong today. MU's strong. These are all up between 11% and 7%. Google's up 3% today. You can see all these stocks that are near their highs of the day. Take a look at Tesla. Tesla's kind of rolled over right here a little bit. Out of all the sectors, let's take a look and see which sectors are moving the best. XLE still on top, XLK, XLB, and then XLV is up 1.01. From the open, XLV's the strongest, XLU's the weakest. And we're trading sideways, just compressing. I mean, there's talk of Tesla pulling back below the 100-day SMA, which is important, and that's at 430.58, and price is at 428 right now. Not a huge dilemma for Tesla, but we'll keep an eye on that. AMD continues to climb. High of the day. Intel still looks strong. Yeah, semis look good today. Problem is with continuation. Look back at AMD and you can see that high volume candle breakout above the third ATR looks good. Inside day and chop, chop, chop. Another gap up and then it rolled over. See Tesla now rolling over a little bit. See if we can get filled on some contracts that we have open in Tesla. Interesting. You know, you get a little pop and you get a small move. When trading at the money flies on Tesla, the interesting thing is whenever they start to go out of the money is where you make most of your gains, not when they go in the money. So once they get in the money, I had some 427 fives, 430s. They all went in the money, and I wasn't at the profit level that I was looking for. Now that they pulled back a little bit, I'm looking to see if I can get filled on these and take the win and find something else to trade or get into another Tesla trade. Tesla's a mover. Serves you well if you do trade Teslas to get in close to wherever your stops are, like anything. Tesla can move in a few candles, you can get a decent profit. Still holding some 425s. I'm still in the money on those 425s. I'm just working to try to get filled on an exit. Strange that Tesla, the way the bid and the ask have been working in the past couple weeks, has not been beneficial to doing option scalps. Kind of dried up there for a while. When they work, you can get 20 or 30 trades off in a day and make a little bit of change on each one and just roll over and reinvest the profits and hit your profit target and keep rolling. Keep doing the same thing over and over again until usually until an hour before the close. I usually close the door on anything that I have open. I'm trading next week's options, so they're going to be cheaper because they're flies. I'm doing a debit spread, credit spread. That's what a fly is. And it's really the mismatch in pricing that gets me in and out of the trade. Even with Tesla's liquidity, about 10 contracts is about all I do. Not not because of not having the funds to trade more, but it just seems to, you know, trying to put on 25 or 30 contracts and stuff, it's hard to get filled on those. It seems like doing blocks of 10, they tend to fill much better. And if you're doing 20 or 30 trades a day, well then, you know, you can do the math. You can make a good chunk of change. And Tesla continues to pull back. This is a nice little pullback in Tesla. I don't think I'm going to get filled on this. It's being pretty stubborn right here with the prices. Take it, I'm trading 425, 427, 5s, 430s. Tesla all the way down to VWAP now. Do our VWAP test and probably a bounce. If you were short Tesla on an 813 cross and a zero cross, you would have made a little chunk of change, 428 to 425, $2.50 probably on that move. Delta even 50s, get you a buck and a quarter. Not bad. Risk probably be $5.50. You get about 30% out of it. That's pretty good. Starting to see the bid and ask pick up a little bit on the contracts that I'm in. I'm hoping I can get out of this one. I'm looking to try to get 80% out of it. Looks like Tesla's not gonna, might not hold VWAP. We'll see. Breaking down to VWAP, pre-market high, heading down there next. Just getting into my 425 strike. And we're starting to get down below the 425s now. No volume on this move, just a steady decrease. I'm out of the money right now on Tesla. See if that pre-market high is going to hold some support for Tesla. Got a little volume candle coming in on Tesla right here below VWAP. You know, the key is whenever you're using anything for support and resistance, VWAP, major moving average, standard deviation line, pivot point, you know, you don't know how price is going to react until it gets there. You just have to kind of use your intuition and current market conditions. Are you going to use that target firmly and get out, take partials, or are you going to step in front? You know, in a day where my expectations are low, I'll step in front, which means, you know, I'll put a bid and ask. You know, I'll start putting an ask out there a couple cents in front of that level so I can get filled. You know, I'm confirmed to make my money on it and then move out of the way. So on Tesla, I'm trying to get filled. I have not, but I'm also bidding on more contracts just because it's been a tight bid and ask. If I can get in just above the ask, well, that gives me enough room that I can turn and flip these out for cheaper than what I bought the other ones for. Tesla put in a couple volume candles right here, looking to move lower. The contracts I'm holding right now are all I'm at the money. I'm bidding to see if I can get a few more contracts, equal amount. That'll put me at my max contracts for the trade. You can see Tesla on the 5-minute chart right here. Trying to put some tails under body right here. All three candles had a little bit of volume, more than average volume. I would think that would go up and at least retest VWAP from here and kind of go from there. So today, so far, what we've done is we had a short trade on KRE. AMD was overnight trade. We closed that for a nice little profit. KRE was a momentum scalp. Made about 20% on it. AMD 40%. Intel 40%. That was a overnight swing. I did not stay in. Intel had multiple contracts, and I just sold everything. AMAT was a call credit spread. Uh, yeah, this bullish market, I was looking to fill the gap. It didn't push through the previous day um, low at the open, so that told me, hey, time to exit. So I took uh, I took the trade off, made a profit on it. Fortunately enough, I didn't stick with it It would have been, I would have had to take some heat today on it. If I get into those trades, I usually use the previous day's candle high and low for a range. I want to be able to, if I'm moving down, I don't want to break out to a new high. I want to stay in the mid range or low range. I'm okay if it moves up a little bit, but if it closes at the high of the range, well then I really have to think hard about staying in it because once it moves into your strikes, to buy back the options, I got a dollar credit. I'm going to have to spend the dollar credit. Plus, I'm going to have to bring maybe another dollar to the table. So now instead of having a 40-cent winner, you're taking a loss on it. You could take a dollar. Max loss would be $1.50. The more you do, the more you figure out how hard to push it. Now, while we're watching Tesla, it looks like Tesla's trading sideways right here. It's in no man's land. Whenever you see this type of price action, even though this is a bear flag, you take it for what it's worth. If it breaks down the low, do you want to take the trade? Where's your stop if it's VWAP? That's quite a way to go. Delta 50s, it'll be 60 or 70 cents away, and in the monies are trading at 605s. Those are Delta 52s. So if you get a dollar move to your stop, you're going to be down 20%. You just have to figure out the risk before you put the trade on. It's not difficult. It's part of the process. For those who have not visited brightlinetrading.com, go to the website. I think they have some specials going on with the SPY Super System. That's uh, that's running off the TOS platform. I've kind of built my own for the Thinkorswim for the TradingView platform. Works fantastic on all the platforms that I've used, TradingView and Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is a much better scanner than TradingView. TradingView will allow you to do some script magic, as I call it, that's not available when you're trading on Thinkorswim. My guess would be Thinkorswim will eventually, I've been saying it for years, will eventually take the platform, and if they haven't at this point in time in the works, would start working on a refresh. It's quite old right now. Still works good. Got to have a little bit of horsepower, the right processor, right amount of RAM. Shouldn't have problems with it. Can get slowed down from the scripts if they get too intensive. Same thing with scans. Got too much stuff going on. It has a hard time keeping up. I do not have blue screens with Thinkorswim. Some people have complained about that, but I don't have any problems with my platform. I find in these days where I'm kind of shopping, for intraday trades that I will stick with certain stocks, and Tesla's one that's pretty simple. Got enough price movement. Spreads are pretty tight. You can make a fair bit of money off your trades if you have a good plan, good system. A couple $100 a day, as a fallback it's not bad. You can make a couple bucks off one contract on Tesla. Not a big deal. Also, Tesla can hurt if you don't have a good plan and you don't have a system that has been tested and works. And I don't mean back tested. I'm not a big back testing fan. You can't back test for everything. Who's going to back test for, like a news event like, whatever triggered the market to pull back yesterday? It happens, and that's the big failure with back testing is, all the nuances of back testing. Okay, can I give it information based on, I use the market internals. It just becomes too cumbersome. It can't do that. It can do a moving average crossover, and you can do that till the cows come home. If it's a trending market, bull or bear trend market, moving average crossovers, that make good money. But once you get in the chop, then all that disappears. So just take a look at Tesla. You can see Tesla right here. It's got a big flag here. I'll draw a flag for you. So here's your flagpole right here, and then you got that consolidation area. Then you got another leg down, flagpole, got that pullback, little compression, a break, and then this continues. If this is a big drop, creates another flagpole. How big can the flagpole be? The flagpole could actually, this flagpole could actually extend all the way here. Show it. So I take the flagpole, consolidation area, flagpole again. Where's my target? If you notice, previous day close is a target, and also there's a daily demand zone down here, so you can see how all that lines up. And a word about that is called symmetry. Look for symmetrical moves. Sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. But it's good. It's good to know in the chart world where you're at. Earlier today I was talking about the Fibonacci's. Fibonacci right now we're at 41% on the day. So you can see the low to the high to where we pulled back. Once we really broke the pre-market high was probably somewhere around that 50%, 423, 424. So 424, it was pretty close, 423.66. That was the midpoint. So once we broke the midpoint, I start looking from being long to being short, but I don't flip the script just based on it. I look on the price action. Where I would have got in is the break of VWAP right here. Got this little consolidation right here. This probably would have shaken me out because I would have moved my stop to about half of this first candle, if you took just the break of the low of the previous candle for your entry, you would have probably made $10, $15 on it if you would have got it wicked out to the midpoint right there. That's a super tight stop. Ideally, you want your stop on the other side of the cloud, which is the 13 for me. That's where you want to put your stop. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce in Teslas. Now you can see Tesla right here. It's starting to get back up into the cloud. So a, a perfect area would be a VWAP aligned with the pre-market high, which aligned with the 13, which is the upper cyan line of the cloud right there of the moving averages. So if we get a wick up and we get a reversal here, then I'd be interested in a short. So what I'm going to look at is the 425s are 640, 640, 645. I'll just copy those, transfer those over into my platform for Thinkorswims. Keep an eye on Tesla as we get this bounce. So what would be a confirmation right here of an entry? Confirmation would have to be, one, I got a high volume candle on that Laguerre. The Laguerre is still red. It's trying to turn blue on the 2 minute. 1 and 2 minutes already turned. The 15. And you can see how they're starting to get bullish back and forth. The calculations for each one. You can see that we got the 5 and the 10 still bearish. And then we've got the longer terms trying to change this up. Getting a little rejection at the cloud right there. That one candle does not get me interested in this. It does not. And of course, I don't want a Laguerre rising in my entry. I want to see the 1 minute change, the 1 minute go from blue to yellow or blue to red. And that'll give me an indication that I might be able to take a trade. And that trade would be to the downside. And on that candle right there, those options went from $6.60 to $6.10. Now they're trading at $6.40. So if you look at the context, you see we made a high. We failed to make a new high. We rolled over. We consolidated. We pulled back to a new low. Trying to make a new high would be above here, and we failed to do so. Now we're starting to move lower. Those options are still at 640, trading 640, 650. Don't trade against the Laguerre. Look and see if you have any volume coming into the trade, which we do not have any volume coming in. Now we start to get a yellow Laguerre. Now they're trading at 670 right now. We'll look at 660 for an entry. Trading at 695 right now. $7.10, 50 cents on half. Going to move our stop up to 675, so we lock in a profit. Move our stop to $7. We're out at $7. 50 cents on half. 40 cents on the other half. And at $6. Yeah, it took 10% on it. I mean, these are quick scalps. You can't really stay with it. And mainly because here's where the big piece of cheese was failed new high, 813 cross, 0 cross on the squeeze, and stochastics and the Laguerre both moving to a low. And this is the minimum distance I wanted to see for an entry. Did not like the blue Laguerre. When we had it yellow, we took the trade before the close. And then we're out of the trade. They're still trading at 715. I'm not saying there's not meat on the bone right there. There could be. But like I said before, Tesla moves pretty quick. You can get in and out. You can get into Tesla, and um, you can make a little bit of money on Tesla in a hurry, and then sometimes Tesla will just come and uh, it'll break your heart. Yeah, the 425s for this week just popped to 760. That would have been good for anyone that would stick with it. We still have some contracts open, but when I'm so far away from my price, um, just knowing how Tesla trades, I'm not going to get filled where I'm at right here with it, and I'm best just to hold on to them. Just hold those contracts and see if I can get closer, tomorrow to my fill. my max loss is basically debit paid, but because it's a fly, you don't want to get um, obviously you want to pin the center strike. They expire next week. That's when the um, max profits hit, and the max profits for that would be $1,230. And I'm in those for 24 for the ones I'm in right now. 24 a contract. The hardest thing to do is to have patience with the trade. Let it play itself out. Don't get FOMO and get into it when you don't have a good setup, when you haven't determined where a good entry is. If you have a good entry, you make the entry and it goes against you from there, you take your stop, have a close stop, lose your 50 cents or whatever it is, and then you move on. I only had a couple contracts, so I sold one at 50 cents and the other one at 40. The second contract, if I held on to it until, I could have done a +5 or +10, so if I, for the debit I paid, so if I paid 660 for it, then, if I would have put my stop at 670 and said, I'm just going to let this thing ride and see how far it can go, that's great. Or I could trail a stop up. Usually I use mental stops. I don't use fixed stops on Tesla. I like to watch the price action and follow price action more than anything. Getting a little bounce in Tesla right here. 425s are trading at 770 right now. We initially entered at 660, took profit at 710. And when you get a candle like this, those prices are going to move pretty fast in Tesla. And if you're short and you get a bounce like this, it's going to eat up some of your profits pretty quick. They're already down to 740. I'm still trying to get filled on my at the money fly. Got a blue Laguerre now. Now, see, this could be also another short opportunity, but just understand a couple of things. One is, look how flat your moving averages are getting. So they were downtrending, now they're going flat. We're starting to get a blue Laguerre candle. 425s were 770. They're trading at 705 right now. Just to give you an idea how quick those prices will move in Tesla. And if you were long, this pretty much is where you want to get out. We still would not be stopped out, pretty close to stopping out here. 660, 665. Pretty sure they're going to get down to where our stop would have been. Yeah, would have got stopped out there. I do have multi-time frame alignment on my Laguerre on Tesla, but we are breaking above the cloud. We don't want to go short above the cloud. We want to wait for price to break down through the cloud. Actually, break down through the 8 EMA and a 13 EMA for an entry. you can watch Tesla right here. So we made a high, a lower high, a lower high. Will this be another lower high and take this below, or will it build a base here, get back over the pre-market high and VWAP to the upside? Very surprised that Tesla, the 420 puts, 425 puts, been holding in there. They moved up a buck, 770. Now they're at 665. I think some of that premium be pulled out of those 425s. Go down, down. And there's Tesla. Red, blue, trying to print green, moving up to pre-market high. If you felt froggy and liked the alignment of the RSI, we're just about ready to get a zero cross. We're getting a little bit extended here on the Laguerre, but understand the Laguerre in stochastics, it can trend sideways up in this upper zone. It's not overbought. It just shows extreme strength in the stock. Watching right here to see if we print a zero cross and we can consolidate. That will really put us back into pre-market high into VWAP. Intel still up 9.7 today. AMD up 5.78. MU above 5. All those are moving good. Nvidia, it's it's lagging. Google 1.5, Nvidia's up 0.8. Let's go over and look at the internals. You can see on the internals that we've 6 and 5, so we moved back a little bit from where we were. You can see that we pulled back. We're starting to get a momentum signal to the upside. And we're right here, we're right dead between 881, we really trying to recapture the 1,000 level, which really is top. You can still go short in that area, but it'd be nice to reclaim 1,500, and that would give us more confidence in going to the long side. You can see it's a C signal on the SPY here, and look, we've printed all these red candles. Now we've got a reversal signal with the blue Laguerre. We need to see it get above 681.42. You can see that through here on the VIX, that the VIX has been gaining some ground. Reversal signal moved up. Now it's starting to get a change in a reversal signal to pull back. This will give us an opportunity to look at some longs. VOLD, it flipped down. Reversal signals trying to go back up again. So you can see the market is a little bit choppy. We've been printing a high tick of 1,300, but you can see the choppiness on the other side of how many prints that we have to the downside. So it's cumulative ticks are on the positive side, but just by a fraction, not by much. And on Tesla, you can see on Tesla right here that we got our zero cross. Oop, got the zero cross, got an 813 cross to the upside. The Laguerre still moving up. So all these things I look at, where do I think we're going to go? The first stop is going to be right here, pre-market high in VWAP. See if we can break through it. Those options that we got for 660 are now trading at $6.10. Where we would consider a reversal, number 1, pre-market high. Number 2, VWAP. Number 3, previous day open and demand, the daily supply zone. Where did we reject from? Daily supply zone, previous day open. Guarantee? Nothing's guaranteed. Well, this is Savvy Trader. I appreciate everybody in the room today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to reply to everybody. You have a good trading day. Please visit SavvyTraderPro.com if you have any interest in any of the TradingView indicators. And if you want Compass for Thinkorswim, please go to RightLineTrading.com. If you have any further questions, contact Rory. His phone number is in the website. Come back and see us again tomorrow, and have a great trading day.
All right, hello traders. I'm back from the dentist appointment, and I guess I left about 11:20 or so. So I guess the market looks like it's been coming back down since then. Just up 0.3% right now on the SPY. I see, and Q's up about 0.3%. So it looks like all the markets are kind of trending together here. IWM also coming back down again. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start up YouTube, and then I'm going to trade for a while here. I got to get my bearings back again. I haven't any lunch yet, but I'm going to wait for half an hour or something before I do that and see if we have any questions from anybody. Mr. Whole reverse, you shy rally all morning, dump back all the way down. Yeah, I see that. It's given back almost all these gains from this morning. Again, we're inside the gap here at about 264 right there, and yeah, we're down below the gap fill here. So we're back down here below the open this morning. So gap up, nice move down, nice move up, nice move down. Just again, not really going anywhere. And my suspicion was going to stay inside of that Friday's on yesterday's candle today on the daily chart, and so far that's what we're doing. That this is the candlestick on the SPY right now. Sit right up to yesterday's high, just about double top right there, right at that resistance level 684.80, the one we talked about this morning. Now it's back down again below the 50, and right back into the middle of yesterday's body of bar here. So kind of giving back up all those gains from this morning. Again, this cues right back down to the 800-day moving average. Very difficult to know which way to play this market for any kind of swing trades. So I'm going to be trying to get settled, get my bearings back again, and take a look at some UMCAT trades if there is any. Also some SPY Super System trades if there is any. And then we'll be looking for I don't know about swing trades yet. I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna wait to see unless I can find something that looks really good. Again, there will be some of the biotechs will be good because they don't really trade with the market. I'm in silver. I'm staying in silver, but it's down today about 1.6%. I'm gonna have to get a gap up tomorrow or Friday in order to manage that. Hey Ram, come on, took 30% on Oracle put debit spread. Good job. Very nice. Yeah, Oracle's pretty weak today. It's right down to support, by the way, 171.49. That was one this morning. That was a setup for a UMCAT trade early on, and then it reversed. Go back and look at it right here. It was reversed back up, and now it's just been falling again. All right. Okay, gonna look around here at some of these stocks. It's green here in the AR. There's a oil stock. Big nice move here. Apache, another oil stock. There's Merck. Moved up nicely this morning. Pull back, just kind of moving, grinding up again. This cruise line. Nothing here jumping out at me. American Airlines coming in pretty hard. 1472 is support on American Airlines. CRML, this was one that was a real nice long last week. Coming in here today. Not too many high volume candles in this except for this early. We got a lot of early candles this morning that were high volume. You usually do at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. But right now it's heading back down again. 1388 is support on CRML. Him still weak. That was weak from this morning. Had a nice run down this morning. Continuing on down now.
Oh, jeez.
What, Ruth?
It's later than I thought.
You what?
It's later.
Oh, later than you thought.
I could eat something, or I could go to rest. Tough decision. Oh, poor girl.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I was talking to the hygienist, and she was asking if we had kids and all that stuff. So I told her about Allison. I said, "Oh yeah, my wife. She supplies her with lots of food to keep her going." She says, "Before we got married, my husband, he would go over to his parents' house when they weren't there. He'd be taking stuff out of the refrigerator, he'd take toilet paper, toothpaste." I said, "We don't do that. We just buy the stuff for her at Costco and give it to her."
Yeah. Jeez.
So his mother-in-law, or actually it was his stepmother-in-law, I guess, or stepmother, whatever. But anyway, when they first time they came to their apartment after they got married, she went into the bathroom and she took a whole stack of toilet paper. Says, "I'm just taking this to get back even at you."
He's either a cheapskate
Yeah.
or he doesn't make much money.
I didn't ask what he did.
Yeah. Funny. That's hard. It's really hard for young couples.
Yeah.
But after you eat lunch,
Yeah.
you have to run the dishwasher.
Okay.
But only if you remember. But it's full. I didn't want to start it unless until after you ate.
You got to run out and take those back boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty pretty compressed SPY right here. Right now, about 12.49. The market just kind of moving sideways. Q's as well. Gonna look around and see if I can see any stocks here that stand out. PNW a pretty decent intraday short setup here. Not UMCAT though. I would have to just use in the money on these. Ari pointing out Lilly remains strong. Thank you, Ari. Yeah, right. 107. That was 1,075 is resistance on Lilly. It went just about right to it.
Members posted in the news desk is a link where Trump is currently speaking. We're also waiting on Trump possibly speaking on CNBC. If that happens as well, we will update in the news desk. But Trump is currently speaking. That live link in the news desk.
Put some volume in.
Market internals turning up and the market's turning up. Coming up toward the VWAP. GSL is I don't know what the options look like. A decent long setup, GSL. It just says monthly options, no weekly options on it. No, it's in the 50s. It's going to be in the 60s tomorrow. Hey, Sarang, Oracle might be a nice short after this brief bounce. Sarang, Oracle may be a good short after this brief bounce. Yeah, it's a good short setup on the daily chart for sure. I mean, 171.49 is the support level on Oracle. 171.49, and it's again bouncing up here right through the 8 and the 15. Got to be careful. Let's see if it might move up toward that VWAP. Set the third of the SPY turned green on the SPY super system. Shy. No, it's blue. It's pretty good momentum actually. It's still pretty high here as it moved up here. The momentum's pretty high right through here. Now again, we're below the VWAP, and the H just crossing up through the 15 with the VWAP resistance right there. It could have turned green for a second. Yeah, all it had to do was pop up above 80. Relative strength in HD, but not much volume. Yeah. Not great price action right now. Ram Kumar, AMD above the VWAP and moving up. Thank you. Yep, coming in after a pretty big pullback here this morning. AMD still green for the day, almost 0.5%. But again, a lot of these stocks have given up all these big gains from this morning, and they're just kind of trying to get above the VWAP here on a lot of these stocks. The SPY Also trying to get up to the VWAP, but again, it's unable to get to that VWAP yet.
Members taking a look at here at a 20-year bond auction. The when issued came in at 4.856%. Taking a peek on the drawing, the 20-year draws at 4.846 with a bid to cover of 2.86.
Spotify a nice short, but the options are terribly priced. Really, really wide. Coming in pretty hard here with a good volume, but the options are really terrible. Even in the monies are really bad. 502.50s, 805 by 1040, crazy. I mean, Spotify can move, I know, but that's pretty wild, the spread. Really pretty jumpy here, just kind of moving sideways. Again, trying to pick up some stocks to trade, but I'm not finding anything that I'm particularly thrilled with here right now. Really a two-sided market here. Moved up this morning, pulled back pretty hard. Nice move up here this morning. Gap up, beautiful move up until about 11:30, and then right back down again, and now we're just moving sideways. Looking at Lily, impossible to play the options on this. Very expensive. Hey, Saran, got 40% on the Tesla puts before the sell-off. Okay. Before on the sell-off. Oh, gotcha. Did this earlier. Yeah, it's nice move down here in Tesla. No, just kind of shopping sideways. Costco with some strength today. not a huge amount of volume, but pretty nice move. Again, very expensive stock. Costco right here with a nice bounce.
Members, just a quick update that I'm not
Ari, I can play the LLYX the levered LLY. The spreads are not good. Yeah, you know, the Lily is the spreads, especially in the regular stock, are very, very wide, and they're only on monthlies on the LLY. So unless I want to take it long term, but I'm not going to do that. Again, wide spreads on the regular options, they're very expensive and very, very widespread. Harry pointing out Moderna at the new high of the year. Yeah, been very strong here today. Moderna very strong. Good volume today on the daily chart. Had heavy volume this morning. Just kind of chopping sideways right now. Costco still looks good. Again, pretty expensive stock. There's Moderna right there moving up. Resistance above it. So well, some resistance above it, not a lot of high for the year, but it's Moderna's been way up there in the past, up to $500.
White House says that Trump is meeting with NATO's group today.
I'm not doing much here. Mixed candles sideways below the VWAP. Just very slow here. About 120. I'm going to have to stop and get something to eat here in a minute. I haven't had lunch, so since I went to the dentist, going to have to go have some lunch. Let me see if we have any questions here. Any time spreads? Haven't looked yet, Sarang. I'll have to take a look tonight. You know, I don't know about that, Sarang, getting the time spread day that you need. I think there's a thing called, what's it called? Market Chameleon, Ari points out Market Chameleon. There's a couple of sites out there that will give you the information. Basically, what you need for time spreads is you need to know obviously how often it's been beat. That's the hard part. Looking at the implied volatility, you can do that right off of your option chain. But the number of times that it beats, percentage-wise, how often does it beat? Not how often does it beat the earnings. How often does it beat the expected move price-wise? That's all we really care about. We don't really care about the earnings. Option Slam, I think, is also another one, Sarang. Option Slam. And Market Chameleon that Ari pointed out. Sarang, you're doing a debit spread on Costco, 980, 985. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty strong today. Get it up right over here. It's kind of moving sideways right now. Again, a big high volume candle, and it's just compressing. We're not getting a lot of momentum with multiple high volume candles on anything that I can see right now. Oh, you say you didn't take this Costco. You're just saying it was reasonable price. Yeah, $2.35 on a it's okay. A $5 spread. You know, it's out of the money right now by $2. I don't think that's great a price really. $2.35 for $5 spread. You want to do it obviously less than $2.50, but when it's out of the money like that, you really should be trying to get in for around $2. Sometimes even lower than that. The option prices on those things up. You may be able to get filled better than that, by the way, because the spreads are pretty wide on Costco. Only chugging up here. 4071 is resistance. 4071. It's pretty close.
You have to share with me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get some lunch. I'm getting pretty hungry. So again, I had a dentist appointment today, so I couldn't take lunch when I wanted, and I'm gonna go ahead and close down the YouTube feed. We'll be back again tomorrow, YouTube folks. I appreciate your patience because I was late today. Appreciate you coming in here, and I'll be in again tomorrow, 11:30 on Thursday.